Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. We are from group 1 and our group name is Sublime. So today we are going to present our final project report and our title is Indicator Malaysia website. So this is the development team. So me, myself, Muhammad Taufiq will play a role as project manager. Second is Wong will play a role as system analyst. The third, will play a role as system designer. Fourth is Iskandar will play a role as programmer. Fifth is Sakina will play a role as tester. And the last one is Fadhlin Sakina will play a role as quality manager. So I would like to explain about our case study. So the Indicator Malaysia website is one of the e-commerce website in Malaysia. It is a sport good retailer that sells sport, equipment, apparel and accessories. And the Indicator Malaysia website also provides several functions to the user.
The objective of this portal to help and inspire people to have a healthy lifestyle by doing some exercises while purchasing sport equipment from our website. Services provided by Decathlon are delivery, click and collect, and payment plan services. Click and collect is where users buy the item online and then they will pick up the item at the nearest store.
The expectation from the portal is that customers can use Decathlon Malaysia website like any other e-commerce website. For example, they can use the website to browse and buy sports products, and also they can pay with a variety of payment options. The involvement of software engineer in this portal is to ensure the development of this website is done efficiently. This is because software engineer will apply the suitable approach, methods, and engineering discipline from each development team role, so that the website can be developed according to its specific requirement, such as develop the website according to delivery time or allocation budget.
One similar domain to our case study is Al-Ihsan, since they both sell sports equipment. Two justification why we choose Al-Ihsan, because both Decathlon and Al-Ihsan are sporting goods retailers or websites that selling sport-related products. Next, Al-Ihsan has been chosen as the comparison since the targeted end users are same, which is for sport enthusiasts, which define who is very passionate about sports.
One of the user interface design principles in this website is a user diversity. User diversity is a principle that needs to be implemented to support the interaction facilities for different types of users such as age, from the age factor, language factor and the culture factor. So in this website, the user diversity that has been implemented is the language. So user can choose to use English language or Bahasa Melayu language to read the privacy policy.
One of the user design principles that applied in the Decathlon website is user guidance. User guidance is the error messages, prompts, labels, and other instructional materials that provided by the website to assist users in interacting with the website. Decathlon applied this principle by showing error message, having the help button, and the chat function that is replied by a bot or a human to ensure that the users do not feel helpless when they have any inquiries.
One user interface design principle that has been applied in my case study is consistency. Interface of system should be consistent as interface must be uniform across the system. Consistency in the system would provide a more familiar, reliable, and sense of control towards user.
User familiarity design principle in Decathlon Malaysia website is applied to achieve a familiar concept for users to shop in their portal. For example, in the real world, people use the cart in shopping malls to put their desired products in the cart, then they browse for more products in the mall. Therefore, Decathlon Malaysia use the same term and icon for cart. This is for the user to save their chosen product by adding it to the cart from the online store, and then continuing to browse for any other product in their list, and then they can see their product in the cart.
One user design principles that have applied in the Decathlon Malaysia is recoverability. Recoverability, one of the design principles where the interface provides a mechanism that allows the customer to recover from any error occurred and help to resolve their respective fault.
One of the design principles followed by the website is minimal surprise. Minimal surprise is important as users must be able to predict what's going to happen if they click a button. For example, in the Decathlon website homepage, if user click the sign in button, the page will redirect to the login page.
So possible risk type and how to manage. So the first possible risk is the organization risk. It can be categorized under financial problem. So how to manage this is, as a project manager, we need to prioritize the important resources that need to be subscribed or purchases. So the second risk is the people risk. So as a project manager, it is difficult to hire a staff with the necessary qualifications to develop the website. So the way to manage this problem is to identify all the employee abilities and assign tasks based on their respective abilities.
As a system analyst, the risk that I would face is requirement risk. It is because system analyst is the communication medium between the developers and clients to channel the requirements. The risk might occur when the clients do not understand the cost of changing requirement and the development team need to rework again and again on the project. Another risk that is related to system analyst is people risk. It is because system analyst works closely with the developers. The risk might occur when the development team could not find the staff that has required skills.
People risks, such as system designers who are inexperienced in terms of selecting suitable software process, architecture, and component, the probability of this risk is low, as most education institutes in Malaysia provide courses that teach individual fundamental planning that is needed before they develop a system. However, there is risk still exists. In conjunction, delivery time of system might be extended and the cost needed for system implement would increase. As for requirement list, it will be poorly defined requirement during requirement gathering phase. The probability of this risk occurring is high, as client might constantly come up with new ideas and add into the system. The effect of having a new requirement add into the system is serious. This is because system designer often must reinitialize and refactor the existing system.
The first possible risk is technology risk. There is a possibility that the programmer used the wrong method to implement and develop the Decathlon Measure website. This level of probability might be low, but the effect is serious. To overcome this, the programmer needs to analyze whether the requested function can be done according to the time and budget of the project before agreeing to the client request. The second possible risk is estimation risk. There is a possibility that the programmer underestimates the time to develop the Decathlon Measure websites. Therefore, the programmer needs more time to develop the website than the agreed time. The level of this probability might be moderate, but the effect is serious. To overcome this, the programmer needs to plan and prioritize their tasks first before agreeing to the client time.
Two possible risks that may harm the case study is requirement changes. During software development, different reasons like to add some functionality in the system, and by having requirement changes, teams need to redo the entire scope to ensure the system is stable and compatible. Next, tools also is one of the possible risks that can harm in the case study when the code-generated tools being used is inefficient, since the code generator transforms immediate representation of source code into a machine-readable format.
As a quality manager or QM, the first risk that may harm the project is requirement risk. QM need to review the client requirement and make sure that the system fits the client requirement. Requirement could be changed based on the client during the development process. If there are some changes, the requirement may need to be reviewed again. Hence, a lot of time will be wasted. QM also responsible to conduct the software test in order to produce a best system, and technology risk is one of the risks that may happen in this phase. One of the examples in the technology risk is the system database cannot process as many transactions like expected, and this could happen to the Decathlon during big sales.
Benefits and disadvantages involving user at early stage in the testing process. So the first benefit is, as a project manager, we can help the user get an idea on how the system will be performed. The second benefit is, as a project manager, we can improve our communication skill by negotiating with the client. So for the disadvantages is the sudden request for a major change that can affect the software requirement specification, SRS.
The benefits of involving users in release testing at an early stage towards a system analyst is that it increases the user satisfaction towards the end product. Besides that, it encourages a more efficient development as it reduces the probability of the need to rework on the project. On the other hand, the disadvantages of this is that it increases the effort to communicate between the stakeholders.
Benefit of involving user during release testing. Based on my role as system designer, the benefits of involving user in release testing at an early stage is to receive end user vision and make improvement if there is need. Besides, involving user in release testing could allow designer to increase robustness and usability of the system. Despite there being advantage, there are cons when it comes to involvement of user in release testing, which is increase the time of system delivery. This is because system designer would require more time to produce test case and analyze feedback from user.
The first benefit is to help the programmers to write an efficient and reliable Decathlon Malaysia website code. The second one is to improve the programmer's knowledge, technical and coding skill if the client requested something new that the programmer has not developed before.
Two benefits that we can obtain is to help software tester to understand the real-world accessibility issues and in order to implement more effective accessibility solutions due to broad software perspective. Disadvantages when the user knowledge becomes basic.
First benefit of involving user in release testing is can improve the quality of the system. When the testing is done earlier, quality manager can ensure either the Decathlon website has met the quality and requirement wanted by client or not. The second benefit is to help quality manager to propose solution for the quality problems. QM can identify or investigate the quality problems regarding the system earlier.
Two factors that influence software development. The first is the team stability. As a project manager, we need to maintain our team, same with the development team who are involved during the development phase. The second one is the contractual responsibility. As a project manager, we are required to persuade our client to include the maintenance contract in the agreement. So both of these reasons can reduce the maintenance costs.
Maintenance cost factor that is related to system analyst is staff skill. It is because a system analyst is responsible to ensure that there is adequate documentation to be provided to the developers for future reference. Besides that, program age and structure is another cost factor that is related to system analyst. It is because a system analyst is responsible to plan a system that is easy to maintain at the beginning of the development of a project.
Okay, we'll move on to the next point. Maintenance cost factor. As a system designer, contractual responsibility is one of the main maintenance cost factor. System designer need to present any changes post-development and inform the maintenance team to perform the changes. The more changes are made, the higher the probability that the cost is more expensive. Team stability is also a factor. Having same developer team is important. For example, if Decathlon Malaysia decide to add a new functionality to their website, existing system designer would know which module is suitable to implement the functionality, thus saving up time and cost of maintenance.
The first factor is staff skill. This is referring to the staff skill to maintain the website code. In other words, it is the process of finding better ways of coding from what it used to. This is to improve its performance, efficiency, and compatibility. The second factor is program age and structure. In the future, the old structure of Decathlon Malaysia website would have found its implication that leads to more and more maintenance to keep the website running efficiently. Therefore, the cost of maintaining it keeps on increasing.
As being part of a software tester, it is crucial to follow and keep track as state in software requirement specification. By hiring other team due to complexity of the task and project getting harder, it can be clearly seen that the amount of the team member is thus not following on one in SRS. To stay competitive, we need to develop high-quality software. Legacy systems are inefficient to be used nowadays. Somehow, there are still some organizations rely on legacy. By having old-school code, it tends to be bulky, length, and incompatible, also hard to be understood, which can be quite challenging for a software tester.
The factor that QM could relate is team stability. Developer team are given new project, then new staff in charge for the maintenance will not understand the system like the developer team does, so it could lead to some mistake and could increase the maintenance cost for the system. Second factor is staff skills. Maintenance are not famous in the industry, and sometimes the maintenance are given to the new staff. Higher experienced staff, it can be quite high. So QM can monitor the new staff by explaining the requirements to them to make them understand the system better.
As a project manager, the verification and validation technique that I choose is the unit testing. Since the Decathlon Malaysia website is a big system, it will have plenty of functional requirements that need to validate and test. So the purpose of this technique is to ensure and validate that each unit of the software code works as intended, and it is a dynamic testing technique.
As a system analyst, I would propose inspection approach. Inspection is suitable to apply in Decathlon website from the perspective of a system analyst because it increases the quality of the system, such as ensuring the system has high maintainability and portability.
One type of verification and validation technique or approach that I can apply in Decathlon e-commerce website is system testing. As a system designer, we also need to make sure components we initially design are compatible. Thus, the focus here is to test the interaction between components and behavior of Decathlon website.
The technique and approach is unit testing, which is under dynamic testing. It is the process of testing an individual component of a system, in this case, an individual function of the Decathlon Malaysia website. It is only specific for individual components, one at a time, and the complexity of the code is easier compared to the testing of the whole system.
Verification and validation techniques that are suitable for software tester size is system testing. System testing can be defined a level of testing that validates the complete and full integrated, where the software tester will verify at the end of the process in the project.
One type of verification and validation Decathlon website is user acceptance testing (UAT). UAT will let us know either the client ready to accept the system or not. It also will help QM to know either the system has met the standard of clients or not.
One of the law in layman's law is increasing complexity. It states that when a system evolves, the complexity of the system would increase, unless there is work done to maintain or reduce it. It is applicable for the Decathlon website because as an e-commerce website, Decathlon would evolve to acquire more and more features in its website, and the complexity will increase when there is evolution on the system.
When the growth of program is too excessive, the mastery of stakeholder to the system would decline. and they would require more time to recover their familiarity of the system. Conserving system familiarity while making changes on system can be challenged, as system requires significant change or users are not enjoying the current system. The solution to the problem lies in website developer. Developer should introduce constant and relatively minor amounts of changes between each release.
The next level law is continuing growth. It refers to the process of continuously improving the functionality offered by the system. If the functionality in the Decathlon website increasing, it can also increase and maintain the user certification to keep using the system.
The feedback system is an evolution process incorporating multi-agent and multi-loop feedback system, which needed to be done in any system, including Decathlon Malaysia website. This is to achieve significant system improvement. The feedback will come from various sources, including the stakeholders who are the client, technical team, and the system itself.
One of the possible system problems is the server down. The consequence of this problem is the user can access to the website. The server down problem can be occur because of the human error. It is because of lack of skill and experience of the staff. This problem can be related with the software reliability.
The possible problem that might occur in Decathlon is cyber attack. It is related to the software reliability. The consequence of the problem is the user and the customer will lose their trust towards Decathlon.
One possible system error is technical error. On Decathlon website, product quantity selected is larger than actual stock quantity would occur, causing miscalculation of total amount. This error is often due to developer forgot to retrieve actual stock quantity from the database.
One possible system error is low loading time for different users. This will definitely decrease the website visitor experience. In terms of software reliability, the cause of this error is because of the size and complexity of the code. For example, old browser like Internet Explorer might take a longer time to load the website compared to the current version of the browser, even if the internet speed is the same.
One possible system that might occur is function in the system will be crashed and cannot be executed since the developer using old school programming language.
Possible system problem is data error. Data error happens when information that should be displayed on the system does not appear due to variety of error factors.
By comparing our Iksan with the Decathlon website, we have found that our Iksan has a wishlist function which provide good user experience but do not apply in the Decathlon website.
One comment regarding case study and Analyst website is from login option aspect. For Decathlon, they provide for Apple and Facebook user, and the option is not so good since some of the user might not have any Facebook account and Apple is applicable for iOS user only. For Analyst, the option to log in is quite good since they provide Google account that almost everyone has. In short, login option given by Analyst is more acceptable compared to Decathlon.
One suggestion for future enhancement for this Decathlon website is to add multiple login options such as login with Google account and login with Twitter. Because it's more secure. Second, you can use two-factor authentication, and third, it is reliable and trusted.
Another suggestion for the future enhancement to the Decathlon Malaysia website is to implement wishlist feature. This enhancement is able to provide several benefits to users. First of all, allow users to find desired product easier when they visit the website after a long period, for example, after a 2-month period. Next, this feature allows Decathlon Malaysia to identify which product should be given promotion to boost the monthly sales. Decathlon Malaysia can also allow their customer to purchase the product in their wishlist through email